Hello, everybody, and welcome, welcome, welcome. Today, we're going to be talking about mindful eating, why you want to try it, who can benefit from mindful eating, what it is, how to eat mindfully, and the best times to start mindful eating. And we're also going to do some Q&A at the end. So if you have any questions, you can text them my way, and I will answer them as best I can at the end of this little Instagram live, if you're here live. If you're not here live, then welcome also. And feel free to send me questions anytime you want. My email is hello@katerinabarata.com. And I'm happy to continue this conversation over there as well. And also, if you are on Instagram right now, then go ahead and follow me. And you can also, it's at Katerina Barata. Instagram at Katerina Barata. And also on YouTube, you can follow my channel and subscribe over there. So yeah, let's get right into it. Let's talk about mindful eating. Welcome everybody who's showing up. So why do you want to try mindful eating? Well, mindful eating is really great because it is an opportunity to tap into the present moment. So it can help you reduce stress and anxiety. It can help to increase joy and satisfaction in your food. It can improve your connection with your body and help you heal your relationship with food. And this is especially great if you have issues with binge eating, overeating, chronic dieting, body image issues, and so on. If you feel like you stuff yourself with sugar all the time, then mindful eating might be for you. Hi, everybody. Also, if you have a tendency to abuse yourself with food in any way, if you just have a bad relationship with food, then mindful eating is great. But it's also good for anybody because it also has physical benefits, such as improving digestion. So the second that you think about food, your mouth literally starts to water. You literally start to have those digestive juices flowing, and your body is better able to break down and absorb the nutrients that are in your food. So there are immense physical benefits to eating mindfully. You're also, of course, reducing stress. And when you reduce stress, your body has a easier time digesting food and breaking down and absorbing those nutrients, because all of the focus is on digestion and being in the body rather than escaping whatever stressful situation you might be in, whether that is a real stressful situation or one that you're imagining in your mind. So who can benefit from mindful eating? We already talked about this a little bit, but mindful eating is especially helpful. I mean, it's helpful for everybody, but it's also especially helpful for anybody who struggles with diets, binging, overeating, and body image issues. A scary fact is that 97% of women are dealing with at least one of these issues right now. So if that is you, you are not alone. It is very normal in our culture to feel uncomfortable in your body and to feel insecure around food, and there is a way out, and mindful eating can help you really heal that within yourself. Sorry, I've got some notes to guide me here. So if you see me looking over to the side, that's why. It can also, now this is really cool, it can help you understand how different foods help or harm your unique body. So all of us, thank you, all of us have a unique constitution that we are born with, right? So some people, like for example, when I'm starting to get sick, I notice that I'm getting sick because I get really thirsty. My constitution tends to be more on the dry side. Somebody else might notice that their digestion starts to be a little funky. So they start to have loose stools, or they feel constipated, or maybe they feel gassy and bloated. Other people might notice that they're off balance, their body is off balance because they have GERD, acid reflux, or maybe they end up with a runny nose. All of these are different signs that our bodies give us depending on what our natural constitution is. So some people run hot, some people run cold, some people are more on the damp side of things, and some people are more on the dry side of things. And you can also be a combination of these. And just because your tendency is to be in a certain direction doesn't mean that that's the only direction your body ever goes in. So just because you're a hot person doesn't mean that you can't sometimes also end up with a cold imbalance. All all of this to say, if you start to eat mindfully, you naturally tune into what your body needs. So you don't have to look to some special diet or some workout or some expert who tells you this is the only way to eat, this is the best way to eat, or this is the best workout to do, or this is the morning routine that will optimize your day. All of that is great, and it's great to have some guidance and some education, but you will get a lot more out of just slowing down, eating mindfully, being mindful in life, and noticing what your body is telling you. And so, eating mindfully, which we'll get into how to do that in a moment, is going to help you do that. It's going to help you tap into what your body is actually telling you right here, right now is good for you or is not so good for you. All right, so all of those are reasons why you might want to start mindful eating. Now, before we get into how to eat mindfully, let's talk about what mindfulness is in general, right? So you might have, maybe we should have started with that. My apologies. The order of operations here might not be ideal. What is mindfulness? Mindfulness, very simply, is being where you are without judgment, without your mind making up stories about, oh, this means this, or oh, this is like that thing that happened to me in the past, or I wonder what that's going to do in the future for me. Without any of that, just being here in this moment as you are and experiencing your life as you're living it. So much of the time, so many of us are living in this constant state of distraction where we're always thinking about that thing that we did in the past, or that to-do list that we have, those things that we have to do in the future, or what it might mean coming up. But if we're present, if we're mindful, then we are actually living our lives as we're living it. We can watch what is happening in our life and actually find the beauty in the moment, which is extremely powerful. It might be the most powerful thing that you can do in your life. So, eating mindfully is a great way to set up a time that you are just intentionally infusing presence and mindfulness into your life. Now, mindfulness is a bit of a misnomer because it implies that you're in your mind, right? You're full of mind. But actually, it's more like you're being mindless. You're taking your thoughts out of the equation and just coming in full contact with the experience in this present moment. And by being mindful while you're eating, you're setting up a neurological connection in your brain that every time, so the more you do it, the more easy it is for you to fall into a mindful state when you are in a state of presence when you are eating. So let's say that you start this practice and you start to say, okay, every morning when I sit down with my, thank you so much. I'm glad that that's helping you. Every time when I sit down with my cup of tea, I'm going to be mindful. So you start off your morning for 2 weeks drinking a cup of tea mindfully. Well, what's going to happen is that even when you're not doing it intentionally anymore, you're just automatically going to drop down into this state of presence because those neurological connections have formed in your mind. You've been triggered by this cup of tea and you start to be more present automatically. So mindful eating, because we eat all the time, is a great way also to just train yourself to become more present in your everyday life. Eating is not the only way that you can do this. You can also carry it into doing dishes, taking a shower, anything that you do regularly. You can make the intention to be more present in the doing of that. And that's going to help you then carry that presence or tap into that presence more and more and more in everyday life. And ultimately, if you wanted to have a goal, the goal might be to tap into presence, to be present in your life as you're living it, to live less in the imagination of your mind and less in the past and less in the future, and be here now while you are living your life. So, mindful eating. What else can we say about this? Okay, so just in case you're wondering, I have an entire article up on my website that goes through all of this. So if you want to have a quick reference for all of this information, you can head on over to katerinabarata.com. You can search for mindfulness or just go straight to the blog articles and you will find it there. You will find all of the details that you need in order to start living and eating more mindfully right there. So if you want that, head on over there and you can check that out. All right, so how do you eat mindfully? Well, again, we're tapping into the present moment and we're trying to do this without interpretation. But to get started, before you're so along with practice, it's a lot easier to step out of the interpretation of things. It's a lot easier to stop labeling everything. But most of us have been in the practice of labeling everything that we experience in life so much that it's really tricky for us to just stop the chatter in our mind. So if you don't have a lot of experience with mindfulness, with present awareness, another word for mindfulness, then the best place to start is by just falling into your body and coming into your senses, as John Kabat-Zinn likes to say. So what this means is noticing, what am I seeing? What am I smelling? What am I tasting? What am I touching? What am I hearing? So let's say that you have a bowl of ramen. Instead of just eating this ramen distractedly while you are on your phone looking at Instagram, or while you are yelling at your kids or whatever it is, just thinking about your to-do list and you're eating and you're not actually being present with your food at all. Instead of doing that, come in and take a pause and notice, ooh, wow, there's this beautiful bowl of ramen in front of me, and look at how the light is hitting all the noodles and the shapes that the noodles are making in this bowl. Wow, isn't that beautiful? I see that. I see these brown noodles in this clear broth, and I see the way the light is hitting it, and I'm experiencing the visual of this bowl of ramen noodles. And then you smell it, and you start to notice the smells, and you notice how your body shifts just in the smelling of this beautiful bowl of ramen noodles. So you breathe it in and you really let your body change. Your body automatically does change. You're literally breathing in the molecules of this food that you're about to eat. Your chemistry is already shifting within your body. See if you can really tap into that experience of that shift as you smell in the aroma of this bowl of noodles. And then feel it. Put your hands on the bowl and feel the warmth. Feel your chopsticks as you take the first bite and really feel the texture. And you might even be amazed that you can feel the texture of the noodles through your chopsticks. I mean, have you ever stopped to think about how cool that is? You can feel your noodles through chopsticks. You're not even touching them yet, and you can already feel them. That's miraculous. So you can take that bite really slowly and notice how it hits your mouth. Notice what your lips do, what your tongue does, how your whole mouth responds, how your whole body responds as you take that first bite, and then really savor it. Notice where on your tongue the flavors hit. There's different flavors that hit on different parts of the tongue. Where is that happening? Really tune into what's going on in your mouth as you eat. Maybe close your eyes and just be there with your food as you're eating it. And then you swallow and slowly, slowly notice the food falling down into your stomach. And you can literally feel this process happening if you are present, if you are aware of it. And notice how it feels when it enters your body. Notice how it feels when it hits your stomach, and pause there and feel that. So if you have a piece of chocolate, a cup of tea, or a cup of water, or a raisin on hand, then I invite you now, I'm going to go grab my piece of chocolate that I've saved for this very moment, to join me in eating or drinking this thing that you have mindfully and being here without judgment to fully embrace the experience of this moment. So I'm going to grab my chocolate, and I've got this lovely Ultra Eco mint cocoa chocolate that's quite delicious. It's not my favorite, but it's pretty good. And I'm going to notice before I even start just the packaging, and I'm listening to the crinkling of the foil and of the paper. And I'm feeling this in my hands. I'm feeling the smoothness. And if you don't want to label all of this, even better. If you just want to come into this moment and just be here with the experience, that's even better. That's like varsity level mindful eating. So that's the place that we're going to. But if you're not there yet, it's totally fine to label it and be like, "Oh, look at this dark chocolate. Look at the brown. It's almost purple. Look at that color and look how smooth it is. And the smell of it. What does that do to your body as you smell it?" And then take a bite. And before you even chew, hold it in your mouth. Notice it. And if you do chew, what does the chewing feel like? And then as it goes down, how does it feel coming into your body? Hmm. And then what's left in your mouth after it's gone into your stomach? You have so many opportunities to be present in so many different parts. You can be present with what's happening in your mouth. You can be present what's happening in your stomach. You can be present with what's happening in the rest of your body. Just choose your focus. So much to experience here that we normally miss when we're eating in this state of distraction. Hmm. And thank you. I'm glad that you're enjoying this. For those of you who are commenting. um, so that is mindful eating in a nutshell. And when should you eat mindfully? Well, again, ideally, you want to be present in your whole life, right? So instead of being up here in your head in the chatter and distracted by the past and the future and all of your thoughts and judgments about the world, your life, and interpreting everything, that's what causes stress. That's where you end up feeling division in your life and stressed out. And that's where anxiety can arise and depression can arise. And all of those things come from this mental space. But if you drop down into your body and you're fully here, present, right here, right now, that is the ultimate state of living. That is actually living your life rather than just thinking about your life. So, when should you eat mindfully? Well, again, ideally, you're eating mindfully all the time because you want to come into eventually being in a state of presence all the time through your whole life. But of course, this takes practice and this doesn't happen automatically for most of us. Some people have incredible experiences where poof, they realize who they are and what they are, and they no longer take their mind so seriously. They no longer take their thoughts seriously, and they're able to be fully present in all parts of their life. That is highly unusual. For most of us, it is a practice. It is something that we have to return to repeatedly, intentionally, with vigilance, something that we have to cultivate in order to really make those neural connections in our brain so that it happens more automatically, so that we remember to be present in our lives more naturally and more regularly. So again, eating is a really great opportunity to cultivate this because you eat all the time. You have to eat in order to survive. And so you have these opportunities to fall into presence by creating that neural habit that allows you to be present when you're eating. Now, what I would recommend, depending on your situation, is that you set aside a very specific meal that you use as a practice time to eat mindfully by yourself or with somebody else who's also practicing mindful eating. That's fine too. But really set aside a time when this becomes your practice. And this could be once a day, once a week, whenever. You could also make the beginning of your meal be very intentional. So just as we took that bite that I led you through, eating that one piece of chocolate or whatever you were doing, taking a sip of tea or drinking some water or eating a raisin, whatever it is, at the beginning of your meal. So the imagination of that ramen, that bowl of ramen noodles, really take the time to be present with your food and really connect with your food before eating it and then connect with it as you're eating it. So that's another way to do it. So you're just doing that very intentionally at the beginning of your meal, and then you can go ahead and not be quite so vigilant about it if you don't have the opportunity to do so. So those are some ways to start being more mindful. And if you do that, the more you do it, the easier it's going to be present and to fall into this mindful state on a regular basis. Now, for some people, one of the questions that somebody sent me was, how can you eat mindfully when you've got 4 demanding kids screaming around you? Great question. You can be mindful there just as you can be mindful anywhere. And it just takes practice. It just takes vigilance. And this is where really setting aside a time where you practice present awareness. Maybe it's a meditation practice that you have in the morning. Maybe it's by practicing yoga. Maybe it's by setting up these times where at the beginning of doing an activity like washing the dishes, folding laundry, eating a meal, at the very beginning, you do it mindfully with present awareness and really set that intention to be there now. Maybe it's setting an alarm on your phone so that every hour you just remember, be here, just be here. Settle into what is now. Watch it without interpreting. Turn the thoughts off for a moment, just blow them away and allow yourself to just be without doing. And even when you have children running around you, 5 of them asking you 10 different things at the same time, you can still be present. So you can still be present with your food and the children at the same time. It does take practice. It takes a lot of practice, and you're going to fall out of it. Don't worry about it. There is no end goal. There is no ultimate state of being, unless you want to call that enlightenment, which is lovely. But the reality is, it's all just practice. You're just where you are on this journey of life, figuring it out. And the more you can remember to tune in and fall back into present awareness, the easier it's going to be. And it's okay to lose it. It's okay to become distracted. It's okay, whatever happens. That's just another opportunity to remember to tune back in. So I hope that you found this helpful. I hope that this changed and shifted something for you for the better. Please do, again, send me questions, hello@katerinabarada.com. If you want to continue this conversation, go check out the article that I wrote about this on my website, katerinabarada.com. And you can just search for mindful eating and you'll see this article pop right up, or just go straight to the articles blog and check it out. And if you are on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel and make sure that you hit the little bell signal so that you know whenever I post a new video. And if you are on Instagram, please follow along there. I love, love, love connecting with you. I love hearing from you. And if you would like some free resources to take this type of practice deeper so that you can reduce stress and anxiety, feel more confident in your body, and just cultivate more joy in your life, then head on over to my website also and check out the freebies there. You can get started with a bunch. I've got so many freebies on there for you. My favorite one is called the Bliss Kit, which has 4 life-changing strategies. And I'm not exaggerating this. If you use these strategies, they will change your life to reduce stress and anxiety and feel more ease, joy, and confidence every day. So head on over to katerinabarada.com/bliss-kit and download the Bliss Kit PDF. It's totally free, and it's really transformative and wonderful. And I cannot wait to see where it takes you. All right. I'll talk to you soon. Thank you for being here.